to the sea, and this is Sunday Morning Live. We're here with you every Sunday morning from 11 a.m. to noon with a live guest at 11:30 a.m. And today we've got Jackson Emmer in the studio with us today. So let's open up his mic and say hello. Good morning, Jackson.
Good morning, Tina.
How are you?
Good morning, Tina. Good morning, Bruce. I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Very, very good. It's good to have you here. Now, so you come to us. You're from Santa Cruz, basically, right?
I live in Santa Cruz. That's
okay,
right.
that's very cool. But you hail from Colorado.
Yeah, I'm from Colorado. I'm kind of a mutt, honestly, Tina.
Woof woof.
I'm sort of mostly from Colorado, but I also have some Palo Alto history in my childhood.
Okay.
Coming back to California feels like coming home.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, truth be told, I'm from a few places, which is fine with me.
Well, it's great to have you here. Now, you're primarily a songwriter, folk singer, and says here genre bending. So
Genre bending.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And then, so is it? Do you kind of go from blues and to folk, or how do you do things?
I play mostly bluegrass, folk, and country music. You know, a lot of honky tonk, western swing. It's all kind of under the country or the Americana, big tent there.
Right.
Of American music.
All right. Well, what are we going to hear first?
Well, I'm just put together a new album, so it's going to come out in May or June. So I'm going to debut a song here that you can't hear anywhere else.
Neat.
It's called Battle Hymn of the Early Riser.
Great title.
And let's do a little bit of a little sound check here.
Sure.
This is kind of a softer finger-picked one, so you might have to crank that guitar. I'll play louder on the next song, I promise. You got me?
Yep.
Nice. Battle Hymn of the Early Riser. Battle Hymn of the Early Riser. Hypnotizer, exerciser. Running from the grid in perfect self. A hearty helping reason to wake up and chase the swell. It's more than fit or fiddle. More than death or health. A nihilist existence neutralizer. Battle Hymn of the Early Riser. It's 5 a.m. and the owl calls. Sparrow sings a T-Swift song. Churning up my endless mind. Percolating, it's coffee time. Concave, convex rhymes with what? Boots and saddles and cowboy butts. Spice and oatmeal right on time. Daybreak coming is a friend of mine. Daybreak coming is a friend of mine. Battle Hymn of the Early Riser. Hypnotizer, exerciser. Running from the grid in perfect self. A hearty helping reason to wake up and chase the swell. It's more than fit or fiddle. More than death or health, a nihilist existence neutralizer. Battle Hymn of the Early Riser. All right. Beep, beep, beep. Boop, boop, boop. Deedle, deedle, deedle on the mandolin. Glory, hallelujah, I woke up again. Battle Hymn of the Early Riser. Hypnotizer, exerciser. Running from the grid in perfect self. A hearty helping reason to wake up and chase the swell. It's more than fit or fiddle, more than death or health, a nihilist existence neutralizer. Battle Hymn of the Early Riser.
All right, beautiful. That is Jackson Emmer there here on KBCZ this morning on Sunday Morning Live. Well, Jackson, did you write that in the morning?
I sure did. Yeah, I wrote it.
Whoops.
I said that I wrote it in about like 30 minutes, and I think it shows because like it's so weird, like if you get out of your own way and you don't edit so much, what you get is some really weird stuff. And sometimes that's the right thing.
And sometimes that's the right thing. And I like that you wrote a song ode to getting up early in the morning. That's pretty good.
I've got a daughter who's 3. She's almost 4.
Oh,
and
how
so
fun.
It's so fun. And you guys, it's bonkers. It's bonkers.
That's a great word for it.
Yeah, like you just think, today maybe something will go to plan.
Nope.
And like, no. She's just like, did you have a plan, buddy?
I'm sorry you're a plan maker.
Yeah. Oh, it's over for me. It's over for me. It's a real exercise in the sweet release.
And
So,
she's got your heart in her hand, no doubt.
of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She knows it too.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
She's the best. But yeah, I get up early.
Oh, right. I guess you do. Yeah, I loved having good times with my kid when they were little. They were 23 now, but back then I was just, thank you, I was totally into it. I didn't feel like I was sort of, missing out on anything. I'd already done all my fun stuff. And so I just kind of hunkered down and raised my kid. And that is a lot of fun.
It's the best. I mean, yeah, what else are you supposed to be doing with your life? But
Does she like to hear you playing guitar and all of that?
really variable, honestly. Yeah, like sometimes she's like, this is great, let me jam with you. And other times she goes,
Daddy, no.
No, Dad, put the guitar down.
Oh, man.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Okay, whatever the little one says. All right, what do we got next then?
I'm going to play you a song about construction projects around the house. You know, if you've had a family, the projects never end, so this is called Home Improvement.
Okay, well, that's good, because we're all doing a little home improvement, aren't we doing that, Bruce?
Yes, we are.
I wrote this with my friend Abigayle Compst. Brushing sawdust off the table every night at family meal. Dad ran out of coax cable, but Home Depot's got a deal. Swollen, sagging drywall ceiling, our last plumbing attempt. Didn't mean to flood the basement, that's just how it went. Home improvement, we can do it, the house is never done. You and me in time and patience, can you hold this? Can you feel it? We're gonna nail this one. Tried to hang the picture level, didn't want to fight with you. And in your eyes there danced the devil with a power drill and screws. Home improvement, we can do it, the house is never done. You and me in time and patience, can you hold this? Can you feel it? We're gonna nail this one. You could pay some handy fellow, spare yourself the sweat. But if there's something we can't handle, we ain't found it yet. Home improvement, we can do it, the house is never done. You and me in time and patience, can you hold this? Or can you feel it? We're gonna nail this one. Gonna nail this one.
Excellent, excellent. That's Jackson Emmer here in the studio with us, talking about home improvement. We're going to nail this one.
We're going to nail this one. Some sweet day.
Now, you've done a lot of writing projects with different musicians, I suppose. It says here you've co-written a number of songs with folk music legend Tom Paxton.
Yeah.
So how do you meet these guys?
I mean, honestly, doing stuff like this, you never know who's going to turn up or who's going to hear you. I met Tom Paxton through his girlfriend, actually. His wife passed away 10 or 15 years ago, and he started dating someone who lived in the same small town as me in Colorado. Total weird, just twist of fate. And one day she came to a show and she said, "I'm going to bring Tom Paxton to hear you someday." And I thought, well, that's ridiculous. People say stuff like that to me all the time.
Sure you will.
And then one day he showed up and he sat right in the front row and he sang along with every song because he just, he's a good singer. He's got a good ear. And he didn't know the songs ahead of time, but so it made me less nervous. And then after that, he said, "Let's be friends on the internet." And I thought, that's hilarious. You're in your 80s. But man, he's really good at the internet. And we wrote a bunch of songs together starting during COVID. And it's been going for years now. And I'm so grateful for him in my life. He's very special.
Wow, yeah. A lot of crazy things came out of our time with COVID, good and bad and ugly. Yep. All the things.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, boy, can you believe it? Okay, I'm glad it's over for the most part. Let's see. So you have a website, JacksonEmmer.com, and you brought some CDs with you here today. So you've got a couple out, and folks can find you on Spotify, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, you can find me, Jackson Emmer. That's EMMER. It's a kind of wheat, apparently.
Oh, is it?
So Jackson Emmer, I'm on YouTube. I'm on Spotify. I've got a website, JacksonEmmer.com. I'm hosting some shows here and there in the area, mostly at the Ugly Mug. So I play shows, but I'm also going, just presenting other artists. And so Rachel Sumner is playing tonight at the Ugly Mug. We've just got a handful of seats left. She's great. If you go to JacksonEmmer.com, you can go to the tour page and find out more about her and about that show.
Okay.
And that's my nickel tour of what's going on lately.
And is she one of the artists that you collaborate with, or
we're just friends? Yeah, we're just friends. I've known her probably 10 years. She's an amazing singer-songwriter out of Boston, kind of from the Berkeley School of Music thing, and her band is all Berkeley cats too. And God, they're unreal, but with taste,
Yes.
like shredders with taste.
Awesome. All right. It's about 11:42 here in the downtown studio, and we're visiting with Jackson Emmer this morning on Sunday Morning Live, and we're ready for the next one.
All right. We'll play a song. And by we, the royal we, it's just me.
Yeah, it's just you.
I'm going to play a song called Dinosaur Bones. And here we go. Shovels and degrees were working on a dig in Greece. Found the T-Rex of their dreams. Got their big chance on TV. Thought they'd found a vertebrae. Turns out it was his left leg. They still made off with the Nobel Prize. Collecting dinosaur bones to make sense of it all, just to find we got the proportions wrong. We're way smaller than we actually thought. Dinosaur bones can teach you a lot. Natural history, it's fun for the whole family. Only $40 to see the dead. Drive home in your minivan. This spinning rock is all we have. You're still making plans like there's a point. Collecting dinosaur bones to make sense of it all, just to find we got the proportions wrong. We're way, way smaller than we actually thought. Dinosaur bones can teach you a lot. Dinosaur bones to make sense of it all, just to find we got the proportions wrong. We're way, way smaller than we actually thought. Dinosaur bones can teach you a lot.
And that's true. That's the truth. But they never thought dinosaurs would have fur and feathers and things like that.
There are so many things you don't think of until somebody says, "Hey, I just figured this one out."
And they're not as big as we thought before. They're smaller.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's what I heard in a song just about a minute ago.
Yeah, I heard it somewhere too.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, what kind of do you mainly play on acoustic guitar, or do you do a full band at any time with electric stuff?
Oh, yeah. You mean when I'm playing live?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I usually play as an acoustic guitar duo. You know, somebody will play with me, or somebody will play pedal steel with me, or somebody will play fiddle with me. I usually have a duo because, frankly, you guys, I don't know if you heard this, musicians are often broke.
What?
The music industry's rough. You know, it's rough.
It's rough.
So,
It is rough.
Unless you're T-Swift, you got to keep it pretty lean. So, so yeah, I don't usually have a full band with me because that's hard to support, at
Yeah.
least at my little tier of the world.
Right.
But sometimes I do have a full band, and I love doing that. I played with a full band, and we played like all my honky-tonk and Western swing stuff at Moe's Alley, like for Western Wednesdays a few months ago.
Fun.
And yeah, hopefully we'll do something like that again because it's so fun. It's so fun.
Yeah, Western swing.
Yeah, Western swing.
I don't know what that is. I mean, I've heard of it. I've never seen it or danced to it.
Oh, well, it's I'll play you guys a Western swing song. You won't get the full effect because it's not a band, but
Right.
you'll get the idea. It still has its thing.
Okay, I'm ready for
But
that.
basically, it's cowboys who became jazz musicians in the 30s and 40s, and they were playing big band jazz mixed with country music, and it became its own genre called, Western swing.
Neat.
Yeah, Bob Wills is the king, as
You know
they
Bob
say.
Wills?
Yeah.
All right, this is fun. Okay, I know what you're going to do. Yeah.
Okay, are we ready for a Western swing song?
I am so ready.
Okay. This is a Western swing song that I wrote. You can buy yourself a Ford or a Chevy truck, Stetson hat, and a big belt buckle, fine hand-tooled rawhide leather saddle, but it don't change the fact you're all hat, no cattle. All hat, no cattle. All hat, no cattle. All hat, no cattle. I think you know the type. Now he retired from Google at 43. Long days, long nights, he says they're getting to me. Bought himself a ranch 10 hours from Seattle, but it don't change the fact he's all hat, no cattle. All hat, no cattle. All hat, no cattle. All hat, no cattle. I think you know the type. Let's take it to the bridge. Here we go to the bridge. If you're new to the country, let me show you around. Up is up, down is down. We can get a little surly with the profiteers. Dress however you like, but don't pretend you're from here. You're all hat, no cattle. All hat, no cattle. I'll have no cattle. I think you know the type. Play one on the hot guitar, okay. Talk and spit, my hands a little too clean, my boots don't fit. I was born in California where the kids rap battle. Now I'm living in the country, all had no cattle. I'll have no cattle. I'll have no cattle. I'll have no cattle. I think you know the type. That's right. One more bridge. There's a certain kind of man that claims this land is his own. Ignores the fact he moved in just 100 years ago. Says he don't like change, outsiders are sinners. God just laughs and says you're good at pointing fingers. Good at pointing fingers. I'll have no cattle. I'll have no cattle. I'll have no cattle. I think you know the type. That's right.
We like that one, huh?
That was good. That's a real fact right there.
That's a real fact right there. That's off your album 22 and 22. So did you write 22 songs in 2022?
I did. So I wrote 22 songs in the year 2022. I actually wrote more than that. That's just what I released.
That's just what you released,
But I released a new song every 2 weeks for that year because I put them out as singles.
Gosh.
And it was crazy, you guys. I basically shouldn't have done that.
I know, it's not good for your health.
You know, yeah, it's not good for a lot of things, but it was good for my songwriting.
Yes, certainly.
But yeah, I put out the 22 singles, and then at the end of it, people wanted it to be a record. So yeah, you can get that record at my shows or at your local radio station, I guess.
Yeah, right here. And we're going to put some of this in our regular rotation for a few weeks. Now, did you do the artwork on the front cover as well?
No, that's
nice.
Artwork by a friend of mine named Chris Kelly, who lives in Austin.
Yeah, beautiful. And I love some of the song titles on here. I'll just read some song titles because they're so good. Cornflakes and whiskey.
Sure. Yeah.
I had that before. You ever had that? Cornflakes and whiskey? Tasty. Mess or masterpiece? We don't know. Could be either or. Ants in the Bear Box.
Ants in the Bear Box.
What is that?
Well,
what's a bear box?
What's a bear box? That's a great question. A bear box is a thing in Colorado where you lock up your food when you're camping so that bears don't get it. Yeah. And they have them at all the campsites because there are a lot of bears. So you can put your food in there, but ants can crawl in, no problem, right? And steal all your food. And that was the idea for the song.
Ants in the bear box. You know, the bear reads it and says, hey, it's bear box. That's for me, right? Well, that's great. Okay, so we sure enjoyed that. That song about all hat, no cattle. We're going to have to say that all the time now. That's just going to be our phrase.
A mountain phrase.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So where are you playing coming up here? What's your next gig? My
next gig around here is March 23rd. I'm opening for the Coffis Brothers at Moe's Alley.
Oh, Moe's Alley, yeah.
Yeah. So get your tickets over at moesalley.com or whatever their real website is.
Mm-hmm.
Opening for the Coffis Brothers. And that's the only local thing, I think, until July. And then I'm doing an album release show at the Meter Street Barn in Santa Cruz.
How fun.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. That's a lot of fun stuff. Do you know I've never been to Moe's Alley?
Really?
I have never been there.
You're missing a lot there. That's
really
weird. I've lived here for 25 years. I have never been down there. I don't know why.
You guys, Moe's Alley, especially for Western Wednesday, or I mean, really for anything, it's like heaven on earth. It's like going back in time.
I need to go in there then, yeah.
Yeah, it's like 1982 in there forever, and it's special, special.
I like 1982. I remember 1982.
Actually, we went there a lot in the 80s.
God knows. All right, we got time for a couple more.
All right, well, I'll play a couple more. Let's do... well, you mentioned Cornflakes and Whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Why not? We'll do that one.
It's a morning show.
Yeah, it's a morning show.
Sounds good.
It's a family program. Yeah, I wrote this song with Tom Paxton. And I remember writing it because, like, we wrote together for 2 years before I kind of got used to it, right? So, like, first few times I was like, oh my God, I got to get everything right and I got to really pay attention. And then 2 years in, you learn to take anything for granted. And I would wake up on a writing day and be like, oh, right, I forgot. It's a Paxton day.
Oh, geez.
What ideas do I have? And then like cornflakes and whiskey sort of arrived. I was just like, that's a silly thing. Let's see if he likes that.
And did he?
Sure enough.
Sure enough.
Cornflakes and whiskey, someone else's toothbrush. A good sign I've had too much, who's to say? Guess I got frisky, woo! Blame that on the animal in me. This Jubilee. Went to bed in San Francisco, woke up in Corpus Christi. Cornflakes and whiskey. I was at the jukebox, very next thing I knew, I was dancing two-step with a pretty girl named Sue. We sat in the corner, we had a drink or 10. Next thing I hear is the preacher saying, kiss the bride, amen. Cornflakes and whiskey, someone else's toothbrush. A good sign I've had too much, who's to say? Guess I got frisky, woo! Blame that on the animal in me. This Jubilee. Went to bed in San Francisco, woke up in Corpus Christi. Cornflakes and whiskey on the fiddle. And the bass. They say I robbed a bank. They say I stole a tank. They say I freed 2 tigers from the zoo. There was a 1,000-mile car chase, wound back up in my place. My lawyer wants to blame it all on Sue, and I do too. Cornflakes and whiskey, someone else's toothbrush. A good sign I've had too much, who's to say? Guess I got frisky, woo! Blame that on the animal in me. This Jubilee. Went to bed in San Francisco, woke up in Corpus Christi. Cornflakes and whiskey, yeah. Cornflakes and whiskey, no. Cornflakes and...
Yeah,
That
cheers.
was good. That was a good one. Lots of good tunes this morning.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, you had a pretend bass player in there and a little drum section there. Well, that's very cool. Very cool.
You know, when you can't bring the band, you got to be the band.
That's right. We got a local band around here called Sugar by the Pound, and one of the members there, Erin Valdivia, she always brings a little bit of whiskey. And when we do the morning show, where are you, Bruce? Talking there. Oh, there you are. Okay, I got a faulty thingy here. Try it.
That's okay.
No,
we're good.
Oh, there you are. All right, we got time for one more, and which will it be? We don't know.
I'm going to play a new song called Dad's Shoes that comes from, really my dad was always trying to give me his hand-me-down shoes, and they're always a size too big, and I just, for the longest time, was like, that's got to be a song. That's, what a great, I forget the word here, but metaphor. Thank you. All right, Dad's Shoes. It's not on a record. It'll come out this summer, but you guys are the first to hear it.
All right,
and
exciting.
I'm Jackson Emmer. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Come say hello if you're looking for something to do tonight. The Ugly Mug, that's Sunday, March 2nd. Rachel Sumner is playing. I'm not playing, but I put the thing together.
Great.
We want you there. This is Dad's Shoes. It's been happening my whole life. My dad would give me shoes. Say, here, kid, try these on. Might look good on you. With hands like blocks of cherry wood and the beard of a western bear. He yelled too much, but he knew he did. At least he's self-aware. Dad's shoes, always a little big for me to do much with. Trailing expectations since I was just a kid, but the shoe don't fit. No, it never will. No, it never did. Dad's shoes, hand-stitched English loafers, or some 80s Teva flops. He never said I love you, but the shoes just wouldn't stop. And I remember when his father died and his mother slipped away. His anger and his armor were steady as the rain. Dad's shoes, always a little big for me to do much with. Trailing expectations since I was just a kid, but the shoe don't fit. No, it never will. No, it never did. Dad's shoes. I packed up my family and moved on way out west. Heard his old heart shatter across 1,000-mile stretch. Something different in his voice, something calling, some conception of the pain and disconnection that a desert of affection will starve and wilt and still somehow produce. He understands how much he has to lose. Dad's shoes, always a little big for me to do much with. Trailing expectations since I was just a kid, but the shoe don't fit. No, it never will. No, it never did. Dad's shoes. These days our love is spoken, more than just implied. You can fix things when they're broken if you want to, and you try.
All right, that's beautiful. That is Jackson Emmer. Boy, I got a little misty-eyed on that one. Did you?
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you, friends. Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming in today and bringing your CDs here. If you want to get in touch with Jackson, you can reach him at jacksonemmer.com. Perfect website address there. And thank you very much for coming in, Jackson. I really appreciated it.
Tina, Bruce, thanks for having me here. It's an honor. Thanks,
You bet.
everybody, for listening.
All right.
Pleasure.
Cheers.